Welcome to Short Times. Today we are going to quickly watch the 1997 movie Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy is a romantic and comedy movie written and directed by Kevin Smith, about a male comic artist who falls in love with a lesbian woman, to the displeasure of his best friend. So let's get started. Comic book creators Holden McNeil and Banky Edwards have been buddies for their entire lives. Banky is the corrosive and snappier half of the team, while Holden is the more collected and rational one. The narrative begins at a New York City comic book convention, where the two are promoting their most recent comic book series, Bluntman and Chronic. They attend a panel discussion where they meet Alyssa Jones, after Holden disperses a fight between Banky and a rude fan. She is a struggling comic book writer and friends with Hooper, an activist and African-American comic book writer, who adopts a militant persona to hide his outwardly gay nature. Before go out for drinks that night at a neighborhood bar, where Holden becomes interested in Alyssa after talking to her while drinking beer. She invites Holden via Hooper to a gathering at a pub she frequents. When Banks arrives, Alyssa is invited to perform a song. As the song is being performed, Banky realizes they are in a gay club for women, and that Alyssa is singing the love ballad to a lady in the crowd, rather than to Holden, who believes it is for him. Later, the four of them eventually settle into a table. Alyssa and Banky engage in a detailed discussion about having sex with women as Holden broods, apparently upset over Alyssa being a lesbian. The two start hanging out, and a close connection grows as they learn they are both from the same region of New Jersey. It becomes evident during their conversations that Holden has a fairly limited heterosexual perspective on male-female interactions and sex in general. The anti-gay Banky, who dislikes and mistrusts Alyssa and is disturbed by the friendship that forms between her and Holden, is not happy with the new alliance. The commercial partnership between Holden and Banky suffers as well. The two were about to agree to a lucrative agreement to develop Bluntman and Chronic into a television series, but Banky believes that Holden is no longer taking their joint efforts or the TV show seriously. Holden eventually loses control of his emotions and declares his love to Alyssa. She initially confronts him angry before leaving. After a contentious discussion about their relationship, she goes away once more as Holden pursues her. Holden is confused, and as he heads back to his car, Alyssa approaches. The two kiss, and later that evening, the two start dating. The following morning, when Banky enters, they are all together sleeping on his couch in the studio. The tension between Holden and Banky, who mistrusts Alyssa and believes that his friend would suffer if the relationship fails, has increased as a result of this new development. Alyssa's childhood buddy, who Banky runs into, gives him a sexual adventure story from her past. Alyssa played in a threesome with two boys in high school, according to Banky, earning the name Finger Cuffs for getting it from both ends. Given their discussions about love and sex, Holden had assumed that he was the first man Alyssa had ever slept with. He is shocked by this discovery. Hooper responds to Holden's advice by telling him that if he wants his relationship with Alyssa to succeed, he must be upfront and honest with her and inquire about her past. Hooper also shares with Holden his opinion that Banky's problem is that he is attracted and jealous of him, and that his macho sexual banter is a cover for his genuine sentiments. The next night, while watching a hockey game, Holden confronts Alyssa. He awkwardly tries to lure her into confessing, and when she does, she storms out of the arena. She informs Holden about her early sexual experimenting with guys. After a tearful dispute in the parking lot, she apologizes for having him think he was the only man she had ever dated, but she defends herself by claiming she could tell he enjoyed the idea. Holden is furious and confused as a result of her refusal to accept responsibility for her actions in the past. Later, while having lunch with the neighborhood stoners and drug traffickers Jay and Silent Bob, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith, who served as the models for the characters Bluntman and Chronic in the comic books, Holden pays them their monthly residual earnings from the comic book sales. He tells them about his problematic emotions and his relationship with Alyssa here. Silent Bob discusses Chasing Amy, and admits that he previously had a relationship that was comparable to Holden's, a couple of years ago, when he speaks more than one sentence for the first time. Despite being in love with Amy, his girlfriend, he destroyed the relationship and dumped her due to his fears about her adventurous sexual past. He has spent every day since then chasing Amy, because he is upset with himself for letting her go. Holden develops a strategy to mend his friendship with Banky, and his difficult relationship with Alyssa after being inspired by Silent Bob's story. He sends an invitation to them both and declares his desire to move over Alyssa's past and continue to be her boyfriend. Additionally, he admits to Banky that he has fallen in love with him and gives him a passionate kiss to prove it. Holden offers that the three of them engage in a threesome, so that Banky's concerns with them as a couple will be resolved, and he will stop being jealous of Alyssa's more different experiences. Banky agrees to take part hesitantly. Alyssa is horrified and declines, which causes Banky to sigh with relief. Holden is given an explanation from Alyssa of why her plan is superior. She slaps him across the face before saying, "I'll always love you, but the past is in the past, and I won't be your whore." Banky then turns around and walks away. The story picks up a year later, with Banky occupied with promoting his own fresh comic book at a convention in New York. The audience is left to believe that Holden sold Banky the publishing and creative rights to Bluntman and Chronic, when it is revealed that the two have ended their relationship. A conclusion confirmed at the beginning of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Banky turns to face Holden, who acknowledges him inaudibly for the publication of the new book, with a hand motion indicating a coming together. Banky encourages Holden to go chat to Alyssa at her booth, where she is advertising her own comic. Without saying a word, Alyssa and Holden have a brief but meaningful talk, during which he offers her a copy of his new comic book, Chasing Amy, which is based on their broken relationship. She is asked to get in touch with Holden. Virginia Smith, Alyssa's girlfriend, returns to the booth after Holden has left and inquires about the person. "Oh, just some guy I knew." Alyssa feigns indifference before casually tossing his comic book on the ground behind her. After that, she turns to sign the next fan's item,